Hi, welcome back. My name is Rachel and I am an artist, and today we're going to be talking about my painting, The Lovers. Love. This is the painting that started it all, and by started it all, I mean my series on the tarot. So I'm doing a series on the tarot deck. I am not focusing on the whole thing. There's two different parts to it. There's the minor arcana and the major arcana. I'm focusing on the major arcana. There's 22 cards in all. This card is the 6th card. It's the Lovers. And the major arcana kind of is also called the Fool's Journey or the Hero's Journey, and each card focuses on a different aspect of the trials and tribulations that one faces in their journey. So it could be the major arcana could be the story of, a person's life, or, them beginning a new endeavor and all the experiences they will go through in that. So I find it a really fascinating storytelling device where I could share things that I went through and that I attribute to each card, or things that other people have gone through, and because everyone has gone through something, and I find once one person starts telling their story, everyone can be like, oh yeah, I've experienced that too, and that's how people can bond and understand that we all understand each other more than we think. For the Lovers card, it is the 6th card of the deck, as I said, and it is the point in the Fool's Journey or the Hero's Journey where they have to make a choice. Originally it was the Choice, that was the name of the card, and it turned into the Lovers over time, I guess. The Fool has gone through life, birth, grandparents, parents, growing up, and now they get to the point where they want to share their life with someone. And the original tarot deck has a woman and a man, whatever. Other modern tarot decks have many different interpretations, but the original Rider-Waite deck, from where we get most of our imagery from, there's a naked woman, there's a naked man, and there's a tree, an apple tree with a snake around it, kind of giving the whole, Adam and Eve story. There's an angel looking down from the sky, shining on them, blessing them, and there's a mountain in the background. The angel in the sky is supposed to be, I think, Archangel Raphael, who is the angel of air. And that's interesting because this card is ruled by Gemini. It is an air sign. That makes sense. Gemini also represents twins. There's everyone has their little qualms about the zodiac signs. They say Geminis are two-faced. I don't think so. Geminis, the reason why it's the twins is because it's two parts of the same whole, and also it's one person looking in the mirror and they reflect what you're giving them. So this card represents balance and choices that we make in relationships, how people can show up in the relationship, how are they going to make it work, how are they going to work together to make all the puzzle pieces of the relationship fit. It also shows a mountain in the background, there is more beyond. So are you guys gonna, it's not just the honeymoon phase, are you guys gonna work together and get over that hurdle? You know what I mean? So it's all about choices. Who are you gonna choose? I choose you. No. Pokemon. Anyway, so my interpretation is a little bit special this time because this painting is, again, the painting that started it all. I had originally gotten an idea for it, a similar iteration, and it was the same man and woman, which trying to find naked people just standing there as examples for me to use as reference. Very hard. Very hard. That was not a good day to Google search. That was But anyway, I had, the painting was horizontal, and I had the man and the woman on either side, and they were supposed to be on a platform, and I had like, I wanted like an hourglass at the top breaking, and I wanted the sand like rushing out and forming like sand dunes and then coming down. And I had gotten this idea like 8 or 9 years ago. It was at a time in my life where my sister was pregnant with her baby, and I had said for the longest time, no, I want to travel first. I don't want to have kids right away. And I was with my husband. We were just dating at the time, and I was like, do I really want kids now? No, I just want to be a fun aunt. Do I even want kids? I don't know. And this was like about maybe a year or two before we got engaged. And then we said, no, we're gonna wait, we're gonna travel, we're gonna wait a while before we have kids. And the idea kind of stuck around. I started the painting, it didn't really materialize into anything. I eventually like turned it sideways and painted over it, and then I got a different idea and I started it, and I didn't like it. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And so I kind of got this other idea much later on because at this point now we're married and we had a baby and we moved and we got a house, and so like so much had changed, and I was like, what am I gonna do with this painting? So I still kept the original people, and I liked that. I'm like, I want to change the colors. I don't want to just do people. I was like, sorry, look who's here, little kitty cat. I need a different way to show choices and balance, and how everybody has very similar aspects of themselves, but also very different. So I wanted to use complementary colors. So I used like hot pink magenta for one aspect, and then I used green for the other aspect. And as the painting progressed, I ended up, I didn't want the people's heads. I was like, it would be more fun if they had the different, because if the color, like if the green is representing the man and the pink is representing the woman, I was like, let's make the woman's head a wolf, and let's make the man's head a deer, a stag. So I thought that would be like a fun way to switch it up, because on one hand, like we always see women as like these dainty things that need to be like saved and whatever. In terms of like wolf packs and stuff, women tend to have more friends and friendships, and they have more of a close-knit community. So for the stag, I ended up giving that to the men. And each animal has its own representation. The stag has beautiful like horns, right? They have these huge horns that they end up fighting with other men, male deers, when they're that time of the season. And I thought it would be very interesting if the stag was pink head and the wolf was a green head, because I wanted to show that like obviously men and women have a lot of things in common, but they also have things that are very different, and sometimes our head spaces can be just as close to the other, you know what I mean? Like so for example, in my relationship, I'm the one that puts stuff together. I am the one, give me an IKEA furniture set, done. Like sometimes I'll look at the manual and be like, oh, okay, I got this, and I'll put it together. Like my husband's just not that type of person, and that I don't feel like that's a gender thing. I just feel like that's a person thing. So I find it interesting to play off that dynamic. And I put a tree in the background, and this was also like my first time experimenting with gold leaf on oil. I do like it. It's funny because looking back, like obviously it's not perfect, and I think I like it that way, because I did it, and I did a second round when I was doing the gold leaf. I didn't want to go back and do a third. I could have. Like, it's not like I was like, oh, I didn't do it right, so I left it. I could have gone back and really made it beautiful and perfect, but I kind of liked it this way. I liked it imperfect. I don't think trees are perfect. There's no such thing, right, as a straight line in nature. So, you know, I put a tree in the background and I made it gold, but I didn't want it perfect. But using gold leaf in your studio, not wise. That was a lot to clean up. But anyway, back to the painting. So I used gold leaf. I didn't want it perfect, and then I decided in the background I wanted like a rocky cliff with moss all over it. So, you know, rocks are immovable, like mountains are these huge hurdles that you have to climb. But also like they're foundations. So, and then you have the moss, and moss grows more on the surface, right? So that leads back to the air. This is the first painting also that doesn't have any tie to any zodiac sign. And it's also the largest out of all the paintings. So all my paintings are 30 by 40, except for the Lovers. It's 36 by 48. It's pretty big. I feel like I could have been like, I made all of them the same size, but I was like, I want this one to be special because this was the first one, and this painting I ended up starting. I was like, you know, that would be the Lover. I'm like, it feels like the Lover's card to me. So I didn't go back in and like try to tie in a zodiac sign or constellation. I felt like it was perfect as it is. And also moss doesn't really have a deep root system. It kind of grows on the surface, and it allows for things to eventually like nourish underneath. So that is my interpretation. I really love this painting. It is very interesting because when I have it like hanging and I hear people talking about it, it's so amazing how other people see art and what they envisioned. It was pretty cool. Oh, and the other thing on this painting is that I had started it when I was questioning whether I wanted to have kids or not. So that's why the woman's hand is like on her belly. Obviously, we know the answer to that because I'm a mom. But I like the tie-in from having the tree gilded in gold leaf. And then I have the Weeping Willow in my Empress painting, which is a painting about motherhood. So it's those little connections that tie it in for me. I really love this painting. It was so fun. So that is my interpretation of the Lover's card. I hope you enjoyed listening to my little chat about the very first painting that started it all. And I hope that you enjoy my artist chats and that you want to come back and see some more fun stuff. We got tarot paintings, we got other art oil paintings coming up, and fun little rabbit hole projects. And if you love watching art come together and listening to me ramble on about my paintings and life and such, hit the subscribe button, a little notification, a little heart in the comments, a little likey poo. I gotta feed my cat, you know, he eats a lot. He's gonna go over there and eat from his bowl, and then you guys are gonna hear it. So I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys now, and I will see you next time. Bye!